right now. Alrighty. Hello, everyone. How are we all doing tonight? That was a pretty cool run of Breath of Fire we just saw there. Hope you all enjoyed that. We are going to switch gears now. This is going to be a run of Neutopia 2. Volume's really low. Oh, okay. I can bump that up on my end, I think. Hopefully that's better. Okay, cool. I think that should be better. Louder for those in the back, please. Got it. All right. Hold on a second. Let me do some adjusting. And hopefully we'll be good to go here soon. I know we don't want to fall too far behind. Hopefully that's better for you folks. I'll scoot in closer. All right. Better? All right. Very good. Looks like we're good. I see I'm up. People are liking it. I see some hype. I like that. All right. Better? Sounds good? All righty. All right, here we go. So, we are going to be doing Neutopia 2. We're doing the 100% category. The reason we're doing this is because it is much, much safer for a marathon setting, but that does not make this marathon, or that does not make this marathon safe by any stretch. There's going to be a lot of clench moments in here, which I'm sure I will be sure to point out plenty. Shouldn't be running the timer quite yet. Haven't quite started. I'll be sure to let you know there. So this is actually a game on the TurboGrafx 16. There's actually going to be a few of them here in this marathon, so that's actually pretty cool to see. This is a very poorly known system, especially here in North America, just because of how well it did, or how poorly it did, I should say. So the fact that we've got a few runs of it in an RPG-specific marathon is pretty cool. So, yeah, I hope you enjoy it. And I think we're going to go ahead and get ready here. So hopefully Nooster's on the ready. Shoutouts to Nooster. He is my restreamer for this one. Yes, my tone of voice might give it away in certain sections. All right, we're going to go and get started in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, we're going to skip naming our character here, and I'll actually talk about that in a minute. But first, we have our protagonist, Jazeta. He's going up against the Kraken and dying immediately. And there's a reason for this. It's because this woman had a vision of this happening. And the gentleman that's just standing there staring at her while she sleeps, that is Jazeta's son. We call him Jazz Jr., just for simplicity's sake. Now, as far as the name that I skipped there, you can put in a name. However, if you leave it blank, then it defaults the name of the character to Hudson, which is a reference to Hudson Soft, which was the developer of a lot of these games for the TurboGrafx 16. So she says, oh, I had this vision, something horrible has happened to your father, you need to go figure out what's going on. And so we do. Like any good video game protagonist does. We don't ask questions, we just go out and be a hero. So make a pit stop here to pick up some bombs and some medicine, the former of which is extremely important. So this is a good time to talk about what makes this run so tricky. We're going to be depending heavily on enemy drops throughout this run, and it starts here with money, actually. We are going to be needing 300 gold before we get to the next town. Now, if we are going to get there, your guess is as good as mine. There is a way to manip some money drops. It's just, it's tough. So we kind of just cross our fingers and pray. That 50 gold is nice. These little slimes can actually drop a little bag of money, which gives you 100 gold. That would be very, very exciting to see. Also, these pigs here can drop bombs. We're definitely going to take the time to fight them because bombs are used extensively throughout this run. Ooh, 50 gold, though. That's good. Alright, we're off to a pretty good start here when it comes to money. Could be worse. Alrighty. Darn it. Always like to see something there when you have 4 of those guys that you can kill. Oops. Okay. Might as well take it. Alright, we're halfway there. Alrighty. So, little pit stop here. We do this for the 100%. We talk to this guy. He is going to give us a life upgrade. And give us an extra segment of life. Normally you would get, you would only get life upgrades after killing bosses. But there's a couple extra ones that you can pick up, and especially for 100% we are required to get them. Alright, so into the first crypt we go. And immediately you're going to see the importance of bombs. So much so that we get what I like to call the Bombs of Shame, which is this treasure chest here that contains them. Normally we're going to be depending on enemy drops. Use a little damage boost trick there. Alright, here's our first opportunity. Yay, there we go. Okay. So that's good to get them there. I also like to get them later. I mean, it's just bombs, bombs, and more bombs. I would love to see a drop here. That would just warm my heart. 50 gold, however, I will take that too. Come on, baby. Darn it. Okay. That's just going to make some parts of this... that's just going to make some parts of this a little slower. So we pick up our first armor upgrade here. There's another neat deboosting trip coming out right here to send us in the right direction. You always damage boost in the direction opposite of what you're facing, and considering that as soon as you walk into that room, you are accosted by that little purple tentacle enemy, we use that to our advantage to get over to our next section a little quicker. Ooh, I will take that. Okay. Alright. So we pick up the key here. The key, each crypt has its own key that is required to open the door to the boss's room. So we're going to be collecting one unique to each crypt. Alright, I gotta kill these little... Aha! That was a sweet bomb drop to see. That's hype. Okay, good. Ooh, I'll take that. That we're not going to use until the very end of the run, but it's always nice to just pick it up and know you have it. Whoops. Darn it. Okay. Alright. So we talk to this guy. I think you might be confused there, Silver Crystal. The things that you see in Legend of Zelda are actually Neutopia references. But it's okay. I could understand where you might be confused. Alright, so this is our first boss. This is Mecha Worm. Mecha Worm is very rude. It can appear out of the ground anywhere, including directly under me. And if so, that kind of stinks. Fortunately, because we're doing 100%, the armor upgrade makes this fight a lot safer. I haven't got hit yet, so we're in good shape. There you go. Alright, so Mecha Worm down. And nice that I was able to kill it right by the door. Because you walk very slow for now. We'll speed up later, though. So that's our first item. That is the Chalice of Agony. That's going to be very important coming up in a little bit. But first, we need to... Whoops. That doesn't do me any good. We need to walk back from whence we came. Ooh, thank you. Good. Alright. Come on. Just give me the money now, and we'll be good. Not what I needed. Darn it. Yeah, not to be confused with Neptunia. This is Neutopia. The name for Neptunia was inspired by this game. But they are not, the series are not related in any way other than that. Okay, just need 30 more. Come on. Let's just get this over with. 20 more. Darn it. Don't make me scrounge. That doesn't do me any good. Come on. Oh no, the crystals are no good. The crystals, what they do is when you grab them, they freeze all the enemies on the screen and kill them instantly, which, when you're trying to grind, is no good because you don't get any drops from them. Oh my god, I need one more money drop of any variety. Any variety will do. Oh, jeez. Alright. So now we equip the Chalice of Agony. This guy's like, oh, sweet, you got the Chalice. Now we can traverse this lava here. And we open the Chalice. This is a nice drink break for me. Ah. And it freezes the lava, and we can walk across safely. Alright. There's going to be 2 more enemies that we can fight here that can drop money. If one of them does, this will be much hype. Come on. Oh, no. Okay. Alright, so this kind of stinks. We're going to have to... we're going to have to do a little post-grinding here, which is not ideal. Alright, so stand by while I try to get some money here. Come on, guys. Don't do this to me. Oh, boy. Wow. Alright. Naturally, this would happen in a marathon. I don't need hearts, but I do need this item here. So what we're going to pick up here is the Fire Wand. Now, this is a weapon that was present in the first Neutopia, and if you're familiar with the speedrun of the first Neutopia, you know that we use the Fire Wand extensively because of how powerful it is. Okay, enemies did not come back. Interesting. However, see if I can just go around in laps here and they will come back. No. Thanks. However, in this game, the Fire Wand is not nearly as powerful. Oh my goodness. Come on, somebody give me money. Oh my god. Somebody. Anybody. Alrighty. This is, oh man. This is starting to become an issue. trying to think what I want to do now. So I have a choice. I can either keep grinding, or, yeah, marathon luck. This is... I mean, this would absolutely be a reset if I was going for... If I was going for a good time. I'm wasting several minutes of time here, unfortunately. So, it's almost getting to the point where if I don't get the money that I need, I might just proceed without it. Oh, God, of course. The one time I see a money bag, which gives you 100, is the time where I'm scrambling around just to get 10, naturally. Alright. Cool. Awesome. Well, the good news is, we have our money. Hooray. Bad news is it took us like an extra 3 minutes to get it. Now, the payoff for getting all of that money is going to be apparent once I tell you that it's apparent. So, there were 2 houses here. The one on the right was one that we walked into, and we talked to that gentleman in the purple robe, who not only refilled our life, but it also serves as a checkpoint. We're going to be using an item that is going to warp us back to those checkpoints. But what we just got here is the boomerang. This weapon is just obscenely powerful, and is going to be used to dispatch bosses much, much more quickly than you normally would. Oh, okay. Actually, the damage isn't a big deal, and I'll explain that in a bit. Yo! My man Kyo, thank you so much for the raid. All of you folks coming over from his stream are here just in time to see me play Neutopia 2 for the TurboGrafx 16. Alright, so... that boomerang took out those scorpion guys pretty quickly, and that's nice. It's the bosses where this weapon is really going to shine. Alrighty. But before we get to the boss, we've got a... we got another thing that we got to pick up here. So we burned down this rock, naturally. Talk to this gentleman here in the blue robe. Now, what this guy does, he doesn't give us extra life capacity. He gives us extra bomb holding capacity. Normally we could only hold 8. Now we can hold 12. Key difference, though, between this version of Neutopia and its predecessor. Normally when you get a bomb refill in the first one, not only does it increase your capacity, but your capacity then goes to full. They will give you a full complement of bombs. That does not happen here, which of course makes sense because we need just an absolute ton of bombs throughout this entire route. Oh, okay. That damage actually is fine. And oh, I actually just got a bomb drop from that skeleton, which is rather rare. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there with the frame drops, but I appreciate y'all sticking with us. I'm sure we'll get that taken care of. Alright, so now much like the... Oops. Much like the first Neutopia, the type of fire that comes out of your wand, or your wands in this case, as well as the damage it does, is relative to your current life total. Now, I actually wanted my life total to be a little lower there, because the way that the fire comes out of the wand like this, not only is it easier to control, but it can do... it hits more often. Alright. So here we get our key. Oh, I already have a ring. Never mind. We gotta come back and push this block. Alrighty, these things can be pretty rude. Unfortunately, the fire wand does not work on them, but the boomerang does. However, I'm hesitant to use the boomerang for this reason. Normally, the way you expect a boomerang to behave is that you throw it and it comes back to you, right? Which it normally does. However, if you throw the boomerang, and for whatever reason you do not catch it on its way back, it will sail right past you and it will be gone. So, that would be absolutely horrifying to see in this marathon run. We are going to pray to whoever will listen that that will not happen. Now, most often, that can be avoided by me not being a doofus. Oh, that drop was really important. I'll explain that in a second. However, there are some times where the enemies can be rather rude, and they can knock me away from the boomerang. So, we just have to be careful to minimize those situations. Alright, so here we pick up a sword upgrade. This is kind of nice. Normally we would skip this at any percent. So those wings that I picked up from these green bat enemies here. This thing, these wings, excuse me, are what we were going to use to warp us back to that dude with the purple robe that I was talking about before. Kind of the checkpoint, if you will. That actually was kind of close. If that skeleton would have come up and bit me, I might have lost it. Okay. This is another opportunity to lose it here, is this boss here. These are the maggot moths. There are 2 of them, which is not fair. Ooh, that's good placement, though. Excellent. One cycle there, and the second one is 2. Oh, that was a beautiful fight. So, their movement is random. When they land is random. What they do is they shoot out a spread of 5 spores that go from up to down on the screen. So as long as you're standing either to their side or even above them, they're not really a threat. However, there were those two dark brown blocks up at the top of the screen which shoots out the daggers. You definitely want to avoid those. That is true. If the boomerang passes you by, it is gone. Now, you can buy another one, but you gotta have 300 gold to do it. So, let's hope that never comes up. Alright, so what we just picked up from that crypt is the Manipula Herb. We're going to be using this here in just a few seconds to awaken the princess. You can tell she's sick because of her purple forehead, or in some sort of distress. And so she says, "Oh yeah, so you hear about your dad, Jazeta. I've heard of him. I think I might know someone that can help you out, so follow me." So she brings us to this statue and says, I know that your father was talking to this statue looking for guidance when he went out on his quest, so perhaps that Chalice of Agony that you're holding is something that this statue could use to help you out. Yes, Bowie makes a good point. Because the boomerang is OP, it does need to be handled. Yeah, with great power comes great responsibility, I think is the best way to sum that up. Alrighty. We'll just sail through this town. There's a whole bunch of spooky trees that come up through here. But we just walk right by them, fortunately, because they take so long to spawn that we can just walk right by them, and it is NBD. Alright, so we're just, at this point, we're just making our way to the next crypt. But before we go there, we got a very special location that we need to go through. So this is what I refer to affectionately as Dope Beat Cave for reasons which should be painfully obvious. Much like the first Neutopia, there are no shortage of bangers on this OST. I've actually had it suggested by my chat that I should devise a Neutopia rap and rap over that beat, which I actually think is a rather good idea. I just need to be inspired by some good lyrics. Alrighty. So crypt number 3 here. Ooh, we have 11 bombs. We can actually do this crypt as intended. This is a very common place to be short on bombs. So the fact that I have 11 here that's a sigh of relief. If I was gonna get hosed when it came to the money drops, the fact that they've been really generous with the bomb drops so far is a welcome consolation. So for those of you that are familiar with the first Neutopia, either casually or the speedrun, you might recognize these purple wizard jerks. They're not nearly as dangerous in this one as they are in the first one, thank goodness. So we're able to dispatch them pretty easily. Ooh, almost got a little too close to that one there. Alright, we'll just push a couple things here. Walk on through. This guy tells us something. Basically, we just need to wait for him to shut up so that we can go over here. See, Scala has the right idea. Alright, so spiral walking is kind of a theme in a few of these rooms here. Let's go. Pick up shield upgrade. This shield upgrade doesn't do us a ton of good. We're only doing it because this is 100%. Oh, don't do that. Come on. Yeah, so to that point, I already see one there in chat. If any of you folks have any suggestions about what maybe some of the bars should be about when it comes to this proposed Neutopia rap, I am totally open to suggestions. Alrighty, so we have our key. Now we get to walk all the way back around this spiral, but not go back through this door. Oh no, no, no. That would be too easy. We gotta walk all the way over here to this wall and bomb through. Alrighty. See how they shoot that lightning right over my head? Oh my goodness. So nice. Alrighty. I can actually get a bomb drop from these guys. That would be sweet to see. Probably should have kept my mouth shut. That would have improved my luck. Alright. Now you can probably see on stream there's like kind of like a W-shaped pattern to that room. I cannot see anything on my CRT. That room is completely black. Alright, so this is Weird Toad. Oh, perfect. So Weird Toad can do one of three things, and it's completely random. It can shoot those spores, it can give me the golden brain, which is the only way that you can damage it, or it can shoot out its tongue like you saw before. Which of those three it does is completely random. You can only damage Weird Toad when the golden brain appears. I've had it happen where it was like 27 jumps in a row before it gave me my first golden brain, which wasted like about a minute. So that's one thing I forgot to mention earlier, is that when compared to... There's a lot of differences between this Neutopia and its predecessor. The first you might note, especially if you're familiar with the first one, is I can walk diagonally, which is rather useful in a lot of places. Ooh, a bomb drop. That was delicious. Very rare to get bomb drops from these rocks. I'd say 50% of the time when you make a trip through here, you might see one. So that item that we picked up from the last crypt is the rainbow drop. That is not different from the first Neutopia. That's going to allow us to walk over one tile wide gaps, which is going to be very useful here to get another item which is present in the first Neutopia. But one thing that is different about this one, especially when it comes specifically to the speed run, is that in the first Neutopia, a lot of the bosses were either set in their RNG or it could be very easily manipulated. Basically turn that principle on its down. Oh, we are. Okay. I don't know if Nooster wants to stop the timer. Hold on. Let me jump. Oh, we're back. Oh, we're back. Okay, good. All right, never mind. Okay. So another checkpoint. This one's going to be pretty important, provided that we get the wings we need in this next crypt. Extreme buffered for a minute. Okay, cool. All right. So here we go. on our way to Crypt number 4. Alright. Just gotta bait that guy to move out. Fire our way through here. This guy gives us another bomb upgrade. Okay, now we deal with ice physics. And just like in every other game, ice physics are totally bad. Fortunately, we've got this guy right here, who is the brother of the guy that gave us the falcon shoes. He's actually going to talk some mess about his brother and his shoemaking skills. And then this guy is going to promptly give us the snow boots, which nullifies all ice physics. So, Neutopia on ice is very brief, fortunately. Here we can now move normally. Alright. There's the entrance to the crypt. We just got to do a little roundabout to get there. We move in a spiral motion. Like I said, this is a theme. Alrighty. So this crypt, especially right here in the beginning, is really where you're going to see the rainbow drop shine. It's going to allow us to walk over that water effortlessly. Alright, so we are going to make a beeline up to the northeastern corner of this dungeon to get another sword upgrade. This is one that I would argue would actually save time to go all the way up here and get even in any percent. So, we will not forget this at all. Yes, is it Kyodishin? Yes. It is well documented that Link to the Past drew lots of inspiration from Neutopia. So, there is that. And Smashy, I would say the same thing to you. Neutopia actually was magnanimous enough to lend out the concept of the rainbow drop to its game. So, yeah, that's how that works. Alrighty. So, that's the introduction of kind of these, like, trap tiles here, where you walk on certain things. Sometimes you see those little diamond patterns on the floor. Other times you don't. And it makes those spike things come up. Mitigating those is that's pretty important tech for getting through a lot of rooms in this game. Alright. Here's where we want to see wings from these ghost enemies. Darn it. Alright. So we make a detour here to pick up this weapon again. We were required to do this because of 100%. This is the flail. This is normally a very, very goofy weapon, and it's very weak, so it wouldn't normally get used, with one enormous exception on a certain set of enemies. And we actually won't fight any of them in this crypt, but let me see here, 2 crypts from now, we will use them. We will use it quite a bit to save just immense amounts of time. Alright. No, bombs are good. Speaking of which, I am running a tad bit low. I would love to see a drop of those coming up here. But first I want to see wings, and I got them. Okay, good. If I leave here without wings, it wastes, I want to say, at least a minute and a half in the backtracking that you need to do. This is easily the most crucial dungeon where you need to pick up those wings at some point. Hey, there we go. One more? One more? Nah, alright. Alright, so this is Roboy. This is one of the few bosses here that we actually can manipulate. We're going to bait out 4 of these punches to the left, and then we're going to time a boomerang throw to appear basically right in his core as he exposes it. Oh, that was a bit early. Okay, this might go 3 cycles. We're going to bait out 5 more punches and hope that we get this down in this cycle. If not, it's not a big deal. I mean, we're talking about maybe about 15 seconds. Yeah, that's the good stuff right there. All right, good. Perfect. All right, so we pick up the Aqualung. This is going to allow us to breathe underwater, which is going to be really useful for the underwater section that we're going to be doing next. Also, funny thing, the guy that gives us the Aqualung says that he was promised $1 million if he gave it to this guy, but he soon realized that he was being lied to, so he was like, here you go, you can just have it. Why he's standing at the back of the crypt to tell us this, I don't know, but you know what? We just roll with it. Alright, so this is the only underwater section of the game, which is a shame because the music in here is really sweet. But very soon we're going to be entering Crypt 5. Now, Crypt 5, to me, as far as the speedrun goes, is very distinct because, especially when it comes to going through the crypt itself, it is very, very heavily execution-based. So, pretty much any time loss on this split is chalked up to playing poorly. You can't really blame RNG. Oh, good. Bomb drop. Thank you. Another one. That is a thing of beauty. Alright. These water droplets enemies will haunt me for basically the rest of the run. There's one particular point where they are a particular menace. And we'll be getting to that in a little bit. Maybe about, I don't know, 15 minutes or so. But for now, you just want to bait their movement so that they jump at you, you sidestep them. Do I prefer 1 or 2? Oh, God. Shen, why you gotta ask me these questions? It's tough. I like them both in their own ways for several reasons. So that's really tough to say, and I hate to give you a wishy-washy on the fence answer, but it's the truth. They're both excellent games in their own right, and actually, so that actually brings me up to something that I was planning on mentioning. When it comes to speedrunning both of these games, I've had people ask me, do you get the tech confused between the two? And the answer is absolutely not. These games, despite a lot of similarities in, you know, what meets the eye, the feel of playing these two games are radically different. Which I know is hard to believe, but as someone who has speedrun both of them extensively, especially the first one, I promise it's true. We use the damage boost trick there to just kind of get through there. We don't need to fight him. We do use the damage boost trick there to cough up life that we're going to need later. Nice. Yes, Scala. Oh, that's a good question, Shen. Let me give that some thought, because I want to give you a legit answer. Also, shoutouts to Shen. He is one of my brothers in TG16. Alrighty. So you might recognize this guy. This is the Kraken that was in that woman's vision. And now we take our turn with it. Okay, cool. So, Little tech there when it comes to the boomerang. Like I said, you always boost in the direction opposite of what you're facing. So if you are facing your boomerang as it goes out, it doesn't matter how many times you get hit, it's always going to come back to you. So, sometimes we kind of just have to tank damage for the sake of making absolute sure we don't lose the boomerang. So this is Jazeta here. This is our dad. He's a protagonist from the first game. He says, "Son, I was weakened. Thank you for rescuing me from the Kraken. I don't have the strength to fight, but as the bloodline of my family, you do. I was unable to defeat Dearth. You need to go get him. I'm just going to die real quick and send you whisking out of here." And so we're back to the temple now. We're going to go left. We're going to talk to this guy. It's like, "Hey, bro, sweet sword. Why don't you try jamming it into this rock here?" And we're like, "Aight." Lo and behold, watch what this sword does. Swing. That was pretty sweet. And then we catch it and just move. Don't get too attached to these dope beats. We're exiting the cave now. Alright. So we talk to this jovial man here. That's going to be a useful checkpoint down the road. Go ahead and get our fire wand on now. Alrighty. So now we're headed to Crypt 6. Crypt 6 is distinct from all of the others for one very apparent reason, and that reason is it is insanely long. Like, I'm probably going to be in this crypt for close to 10 minutes. It is by far the longest crypt in the game. The route that I take to get through it optimally, I need to use 17 bombs. Currently, I can only hold a maximum of 16. So, like I was saying before, the dependence on drops in this game is absolutely no joke. Alright. Burn our way through this ice door, and here we go, into Crypt 6. These dragon enemies are a pain in the butt, but they drop bombs, so we let it slide. And of course they drop no bombs. Awesome. I think I'm pretty good on bombs, though. I don't know. We'll find out soon. I'm going to be using them often, so we'll get an eye on our count soon enough. Oh, come on. There we go. These dragons are annoying because that fire breath is actually longer than the range of your sword. However, you stand at the side of them, they're immobile while they are breathing fire, and you can just... they're defenseless to your side assaults. Unfortunately, no, there is not a way to manip drops. However, there are... enemies definitely do have distinct drop tables. So, like, I know that these... Oh, I have 16 bombs. Okay, we're in good shape. So I know that the common drop for those water droplets is hearts. So you might see me, like, while I'm waiting for... Like I just did there, while I was waiting for the... while I was waiting for the bomb to explode. You'll see me kind of just fighting them in the meantime in hopes of getting that drop. I absolutely know all of the enemies that drop bombs because we need those so badly. The need for money is pretty much gone. This is where the flail comes in, these cloud enemies. Now, fighting them is very tricky, and for this reason. And this actually comes into... this ties into the discussion about drops. One of the common drops for them is that hourglass that you see there. What the hourglass does is it freezes enemy movement for about 15 to 20 seconds. However, you can see the unfortunate side effect of that here. This cloud is too high for me to reach it. You see its shadow right there. I can't reach it and kill it. I obviously need to kill everything in this room in order to make that door On the right opens, so you have... Oh, good, I'll take that. So you have to wait for the timer to run out in order to proceed. Oh, no. Stop that. Normally I like to line all these guys up and slam them with the boomerang, but they didn't really cooperate, so we'll just fight in the old-fashioned way. E-Rock Brox. I am actually playing this on a TurboGrafx 16. That is the North American version of this console. This actually, it is, so technically I guess you could say this is the PC Engine version because I'm playing in Japanese because the text scroll is quicker. And of course the PC Engine was the Japanese name for this system. So yes, I guess the more technical, it would be more technically correct to call this a PC Engine game. Oops. I'll push this block here. And there we go. Oh, whoops. I always forget. In the first one, when I come out of the spiral, I gotta go left. And this one, I gotta go right. I get those confused. Anyway. Yeah, I like it too. It's like it gives you the idea that you're like walking back and forth between towers. Can I make this in the first cycle? No, I wasn't gonna make that. Okay, we'll just wait. Push, go. Go! Oh, never mind. Dang it. Got hung up on that block. Alright, I don't have to fight you jerks. Thank goodness. Go away. Alright, that's bombs if I want to pick it up, but I've got 12. That should be good. Provided I get a couple more drops here. Moving over to the next tower. You can see the clouds moving in opposite directions. Very confusing wind going on there, causing clouds to pass each other in the sky. Yes, this is available on the Wii U Virtual Console, as well as the PlayStation Network, from what I understand. So your opportunities are there to play it. This, the first and second versions of this game will also be on the TurboGrafx Mini, which is going to be coming out next year. So if you wanted to do like console runs of this game, there's your chance. Oops, did not mean to step on that. Not a big deal though. Okay. Yes, there are chests in here that are disguised dagger blocks, so you have to know what those are. But we've got our key now. Alright. Just a couple more floors to go, and I didn't mean to do that. Oops. Okay. Alright, here's where the flail goes. Oh, one other kind of little quirk about the flail that I didn't mention before is that every time you swing it, it costs you 10 gold. Why it does that, I don't know, but it does. At this point, I should not need to buy anything else in this game. Fingers crossed, knock on wood, RNG bless. The only things that I would need to buy at this point would be a potion if I need to use it. I think I'm past the point of being able to buy, of conveniently being able to buy boomerangs. So, the next time I'm actually going to use the boomerang, though, is going to be on this boss where it's very important. So there's no risk of losing it beforehand. There's also no risk of losing it at the boss. This boss, it's funny. You go through this marathon of a crypt only to get to a boss that, as long as you have a few hearts, it's pretty trivial. Yo, speaking of brothers in TurboGrafx 16, Lat Mackie, thank you so much for that raid. Everyone coming on over? Welcome to Questing for Glory 3. You're watching me play Neutopia 2 100% on the TurboGrafx 16. Make a detour into here. Oh, I'm sorry. That was another thing that that Jazeda told us. Dear old dad said, if you want to have any chance against fighting Dearth, You're gonna need 3 pieces of weaponry. You're gonna need the Sword of the Sun. You're gonna need the golden shield as well as the golden armor. We have the golden shield. We're gonna have the Sword of the Sun shortly, and then in the next crypt we'll pick up the golden armor. No, other way around, Lucius. Did I get that name right? Yes, Lucius Zero. It's the other way around. Yes, they share a common ancestor. Neutopia is daddy. Alright, so now we actually have to fight these cute little Grim Reaper things. They are cute, but they're a pain in the butt, so... We only have to dispatch 2 there, which is nice. Okay. Alright, so we're going to pick up another potion here. Hopefully, in an ideal run, you only need to use 1 on the final boss. I might need to use 1 on the boss of the next crypt. If I do, there is a potion that I can get in the final crypt that is a backup. It's way out of the way, but at least it's there, so that is reassuring. Push all the way back with the boomerang. Into the Medusa Fight. Basically what we do is walk up here to her left, throw the boomerang at her, stab her when she gets close, keep throwing the boomerang at her, her face starts to fall apart, and then she dies. Alright, and we're done. Alrighty. So now we have the Bell of Heavens. We are going to be using it basically right away. This is going to take us to an isle in the sky. And we're going to get the Sun Flare. Now, the Sun Flare is going to be pretty useful here in just a minute, as it is the necessary material that is needed to create the Sword of the Sun. But first, we need to come here. That flute that the girl that was imprisoned in the last dungeon, she gave us. We play it here. Out comes the Ice Golem. And he's like, oh man, that stupid jerk Dirth froze me under here. That wasn't cool. Here, take this medallion. And that's literally how that conversation goes. And then we're like, alright, Ice Golem. See you. So now we go back to the village that we came from. This walk isn't that bad. That guy always appears right in front of me. Hey. Ice Golem's cool. I got stuff to do, Wells. Alright. So here we go. Here's your generic blacksmith. He's like, wait, you have the legendary sword and the sun flare? Oh, baby. Check this out. It shines with awesomeness. The Sword of the Sun. Cool. This is our strongest weapon in the game, by far. We're still gonna... Oh my god. We're still gonna use the boomerang, though. Fun fact, you can hit that enemy while it disappears. Alright, so this is the third and final wand that we're gonna get. This is the Thunder Wand. This wand is really stupid. It is embarrassingly useless. But again, we're doing 100%, so gotta grab it. Ah, thank you for not jumping right in front of me. Alright. We kind of go through a tour de force of background musics here in this section. The changes are kind of abrupt. Alright, let's see if I can get through this screen properly here. Be good to me. Ah, dang it. There's a very particular line that you can take there to walk right between those flies, and unfortunately it didn't work for me. Alright. So, this is our final bomb upgrade. Now we can hold up to 20, which is awesome, because we're only going to need to use like 5 for the rest of the run. Oh, jeez. Oh, my goodness. Okay. These purple, kind of goomy-looking enemies are present in the first Neutopia as well, and they are just as annoying there. Alright, so in we go. This guy says, okay, you need to get into the volcano there? No problem. I got just what you need. Here, take this magic hand. And I know that sounds absurd, but let me ask you a question, and it's a legit question. Have you ever tried walking into a volcano before? Because I'm guessing the answer is no. And if you haven't, how do you know that you don't need a magic hand to walk into a volcano? So I'm just going to take this dude's word for it. Let's see if it works. You have? Wells? Dang. You're my hero, man. Alrighty. Very smart. Alright. So here's the volcano. We walk up, we're like, okay, what's the password? Magic hand. Alright, you may enter. These are the worst enemies in the game right here. Their hitboxes are a mystery. They gave me an awesome pattern there, so unfortunately I can't really talk too badly about them there. This is a salamander. We're just going to sit here and just deboost off of him and just hit him a bunch of times, and we're done. Pretty trivial boss. So now we have the second medallion. Oh, I might have skipped that part of the lore. The girl that gave us the flute told us that we need to collect the 4 medallions of wisdom in order to open the entrance to Dirth's evil lair in the middle of the desert. Easy, Wells. Easy. Alright. So, that boss we just fought was trivial. This next boss we're about to fight is an absolute RNG nightmare. Its name is Zorbon. It's made of water and pure trolliness. Okay. First, we've got to fight these ogres. If you get caught in that little, that little whack that comes from their club on the ground, it actually stuns you in place for a couple of seconds. Alright, here's Zorbon. I'll explain this fight when I'm done. Oh. Okay. Okay. No! Dang it. Oh, good, good. Oh, no, no, no! Oh, good. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Thank you. Oh! Very, very nearly lost my boomerang there. That was a clench moment. Oh, 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 oh. Okay. Alright, now it's calmed down. I can kind of explain here. So... No! Okay, give me the boomerang back. Thank you. Oh, phew. Oh my god. Alright, so here's how this works. You can only split up Zorbon into those little water droplet things when it's scooting along the ground. if you get above or below it, or to its side, then it will stop scooting and start jumping and shooting again. Okay, Zorbon's done. Now, when it decides to stop jumping and start scooting, that's the RNG part. It can just sit there and jump around forever. And if you've got like 3 or 4 of those things bouncing around on the screen, it is very nerve-wracking. But we're done. And that is actually quite a relief. I was not looking forward to how that boss was going to treat me. And that Zorbon fight was actually okay. It can be worse. It can also be a lot better, so. But here's the thing. We didn't die, and we still have our boomerang. Both of those things are mucho hype. Okay. Alright, so now we're into the desert portion of the game. This is going to be the last kind of terrain, if you will, that we'll see in the overworld. Gotta kill all these spiders in order to make this open up. Oh, God. But then you walk automatically to that point in order for it to open. So you want to leave the bottom spider for last and kill it at the bottom of the screen so that the walking you're doing there is minimized. So there's an example of those spike tiles that are activated by a tile that you cannot see. Alright. I want to be very careful with how we fight these guys, that we don't get into the path of their clubs. Otherwise, yeah. Not only are you frozen in place, you can't even turn. You're stuck facing the direction. You can still stab with your sword, but you cannot face a different direction. Oh, come on. All right. Yeah, I want to make sure that I don't okay. I want to make sure that I don't throw out the boomerang while one of the... Oh my god, why do you keep doing that? While one of those fireballs is coming, because otherwise it can knock me back. I can lose it here, but I didn't. Okay, good. Took a little longer than planned, but we press on. Yeah, for those that are veteran users of the TurboGrafx 16, the turbo pads, as they are called, they know that diagonals on them are extremely unreliable. I mean, I like the feel of it, but just registering diagonals sometimes is a bit of a mystery. Which is unfortunate for a game where walking and... See, that's a stun. You saw I was kind of just walking in place there, couldn't move. Okay, this is one of the worst rooms in the game. If they float across the top of the screen, they're impossible to hit. Like, literally impossible to hit. There we go. That actually wasn't too bad. Shoutouts to Last Enemy Hourglass. I knew I was going to get at least one of those before the end of the run. They drop an hourglass that has no more enemies to stop. Alright. Oh, I should also explain why I've got the Bell of Heavens on. In rooms where you would normally need to push a block in order to open the door, you can ring the bell instead. Now, if you have to kill all the enemies in the room in order to push the block, you still have to kill them. That wasn't the case in the first Neutopia. Didn't matter if there were enemies in there that needed to be killed. You ring that bell, you open the door. Which trivialized, like, the last crypt and a half of the game. But, unfortunately, you gotta do a little more work in this version. Perfect, see? Just go. We actually need to kill all the water drops in that room, but we might as well do it while we're waiting for that bomb to explode. Alrighty. Bell. Alright. Boss room here. So the boss that's coming up here is also rather random and rude all at the same time, and I don't want to be taking a bunch of damage right before it. Alright. Thankfully I have my boomerang though, so hopefully that will make this a little easier. So this is Sorfloyd. Sorfloyd is going to rotate around in a random pattern and then open up its pistol right there. And we're going to try to... okay. The timing as far as when it opens up, that's set. Oh, shoot. Okay. The hitbox on it is weird, too. You see I'm kind of aiming, like, above the pistol of the flower itself. Should be done soon. Yeah, there it is. Okay, good. Didn't have to use a potion. That is nice. Okay. Alrighty. So here we go. So here's the princess that we rescued in the beginning. I wouldn't use that language, man. I wouldn't say that it was ripped off. I would say it was inspired by this game. So, that might sound like semantics, but if you are heavily into the memery that is the speedrun, it's a very important distinction. Anyway, thanks for watching. So that's the princess. She says, alright, here's the last medallion. Let's go. Look, Bowie, look. Don't bog things down with the details, okay? Alright, so we get our final health upgrade. 100% is basically satisfied now. Maybe. Alright, so we have all the stuff. Now, okay, now, Scala. When it comes to the memery that is this game, Scala is my commander-in-chief. You're getting it, Bowie. You're getting it. You'll warm up to it. Alright. We have laid the 4 medallions into the top of the crypt. It now opens up, and this is our final dungeon of the game. Do we have to fight these guys to get through here? Thank you for not disappearing again. Ouch. Oh, no. Don't go squirrely on me. Thank you. Okay, good. Alrighty. So these next 2 rooms can be run killers because you have to kill these enemies in here, and that was really stupid of me to get, but whatever. You can see how little damage... This is the strongest form of fire, and it does maybe like a quarter of the damage that a sword stab does. Can you push it, please? Thank you. Okay. So, what we want the enemies to do is not this, where they're walking around on the other side of the screen. We like them to tuck themselves nicely into that corner. We can just keep stabbing them. And they die fast. Oh well. Alright, one last opportunity for the flail to shine. We got these cloud enemies here again. Hopefully we don't get hosed by the by grabbing an hourglass that we don't want to. Can I kill it? Yes, I can. Okay, it was low enough. That's good. That is good. Oh, whoops. Oh. No, no, no. What am I doing? What am I doing? There we go. So these flying squirrel enemies are just an absolute pain, but we've got a way to mitigate our next encounter with them. Well, here's one way to mitigate it. Get an hourglass drop. But the next time we see them, we're going to get a little more creative. Now, normally, there's an adage that you listen to Uncle Vonnie when it comes to speedrunning this game, and that adage goes, you can never have too many bombs, just because you use such an obscene amount of them throughout the entire game. I think you used like 3 more. That was one of them. So now we are rife with bombs, of course, when there's very little to use them for. Go figure. All right. We mitigate these squirrels by just bombing this wall and getting the heck out of here and just telling them adios. These squirrels, however, that ring that I picked up way earlier in the game, this is where we use it. This room is a nightmare to deal with all the spikes coming in and out and those squirrels just hopping around everywhere. Instead, we use that ring to turn them into those little blobby blobs, and we get out of there super quick. The ladder is all rainbowy because that is the byproduct of the rainbow drop item that we picked up earlier. That's what it does. Alright, we got our key. We've also got our bell, so we don't have to mess around with pushing other blocks and stuff. Shoutouts to rainbows. Oops, no, that's right. I do need to put on bombs. That's right. Forgot about that. Now this one here, even though these spikes are going to come up, ooh, scary, we're just going to walk over them. Okay, now this room needs to be handled delicately. Come on. There we go. Alright. Oh, jeez. Alrighty, we're actually not too far from the final boss. I would say only about like 6 or 7 more rooms to go through. Shoot. Okay, that's fine. In we go. I believe that's... whatever. We've got an abundance of bombs. I wasn't sure if that first one was going to hit. Might as well drop another one to be safe. Alright. This guy's like, yo, did you get all the stuff? Because if you didn't, turn back. You stand no chance. We got all this stuff, man. We're good. I was fortunate to get that ring there. I can actually use it in this next room. Makes fighting these guys a little faster. Alright. Next room is Dearth. This is our final boss. Time is going to be on the final hit of him. And that should hopefully be in about a minute or so. Now, what's funny here is that he says, oh, you think you're so tough, huh? Let's see how tough you are without these wands. And he takes your fire, thunder, and wind wands. Now, in the any percent route, you only pick up the fire wand, and yet he still takes all 3 from you. So, compared to the Dearth fight from the first Neutopia, this one has a ton of RNG. Where he appears is totally random. Which of the 2 visions that comes out as him is totally random. Whether he throws fire... I'm going to go ahead and use that. Throws fire, wind, or thunder is totally random. Wind is the worst thing to see. Thunder is actually the best because not only do you have a chance to dodge it, but he reappears sooner after using it, and that is time. Alrighty. No! How could I have been defeated? And of course the rocks piled just on top of him, and that sword. How poetic. Drops right on top of the rocks. But it is significant because it draws power. It's Dad again! What's up, Jazeta? He's like, yay, you did it, son. I'm so proud of you. I'm going to imbue you with my spirit. Now go and be happy. This guy's like, yo, did the hand work getting into the volcano? Ha, I told you. See? I told you it was going to work. Actually, I don't know what he says there. I don't read Japanese. Alright, everyone, thank you so much for all of the GGs. Much appreciated. If you enjoyed what you were watching there, I certainly hope that you did. Thanks so much for hanging out with me here. Would love it if you would give me a follow. I do all kinds of speedruns like this. Yes, that's exactly what he said. There was a message of Wells who said, you did it, Jazz Jr., you saved the planet. Yeah, I mean, I speedrun Neutopia quite a bit, as well as a lot of other RPGs, so yeah. It's fun like this all the time here. I promise. So yeah, if you would give me a follow, that would be greatly, greatly appreciated. And yeah. I guess we can go ahead and let the ending run.